If building your email list is top of your to-do list for this particular time of year, then listen up. I am going to walk you through an entire plan to help you get all of the pieces in place and how you can use collaborations to build your email list really fast. Are you ready? Let's dive in. So before we go into all the nitty gritty and the plan that we're going to follow, let's first just talk about collaborations really quickly. If you haven't seen my previous videos on this, I recommend that you go and check out that playlist and you'll find a link to that above. But basically, when we're talking about collaborations to build our email list, we're talking about participating in things like a bundle or a giveaway. So we're using other people's audiences. We could also be on a summit. We could also be guest podcasting, anything where you are using somebody else's audience to promote a free thing. That's what collaborations are. Now, there's lots of different ways that you can collaborate, but specifically, I went over a few different options in the last couple of videos, so make sure you go and check that out. So now that we know that collaborations are one of the easiest ways to grow our email list, how do we go about figuring out how to put this into place? What's the plan? How are you going to actually use collaborations to build your email list? Well, that's exactly what we're doing in this video. And there are 3 specific steps that you're going to follow. So make sure you grab pen and paper and jot this all down. Now, FYI, I have an entire training on this called Collaborate and Convert, which walks you through how to find collaborations, including my fave collaboration tools and resources, along with what you do after people join your email list. So if you want that, more details below. But now let's dive into your actual collaboration plan. How are you going to grow your email list? And let's start with step 1. So step 1 is to define your actual goals. What is it that you're wanting to achieve out of this particular collaboration? My favorite saying, or one of my favorite sayings, is just because you can doesn't mean you do. And what I mean by that is just because a collaboration opportunity falls into your lap doesn't mean it's a good fit. So I talked about the GIVE framework in a previous video, but basically here is what that looks like. And this will help you determine whether any type of collaboration is going to be a good fit for you. So the GIVE framework is this. G stands for growth. Is this truly going to grow your email list and your income, right? Only you know that. And then I is for income. What's the income potential? What do you have in place that is going to actually increase your income? Because if we're participating in collaborations, we're not having to spend money on ads, but we also don't want to just bring people into our world and never sell to them, right? I don't know about you, but I'm in business. You're in business, so why would you not sell? So when you are sitting down and mapping out your own kind of collaboration plan, you also want to think about what happens next after someone comes into your world. And then V in the GIVE framework is for visibility. Is this truly a good visibility opportunity? As in, are the other people that are participating in this collaboration also going to be a good fit? Or if you're doing more of a individual, like a newsletter swap or a guest podcast, is the visibility the right type of visibility? And again, you're the only person who can answer that. And then the E in the GIVE framework is for expected result versus effort put in, as in, if you are participating in a summit, for example, there's a lot more effort required of you than if you participate in a giveaway or a bundle. Is it going to be worth it? Now, you're the only person that can answer those things, but that's how you figure that out. So before you start applying to any collaboration or saying yes to any opportunity that comes your way, just roll through the GIVE framework first. And then step 2 is all about identifying ideal collaborators. Now, this is really going to largely depend on whether you yourself are looking to host some type of collaboration or whether you're actually looking for collaboration opportunities. So if you're looking for collaboration opportunities, you'll remember back in a previous video where I walked through how you can find actual collaboration opportunities. Briefly, I talked about Facebook groups that you can go and join, LinkedIn communities, basically anywhere that your target audience is hanging out, or there are actual specific communities that exist that actually provide collaboration opportunities for you. So you can go and hunt and gather for those. So definitely make sure that you pay attention to those. But if you are looking for people to collaborate with you on an event that you're hosting, then my number one tip for finding those people is to simply pay attention to the giveaways, bundles, summits that come through your email list. Pay attention to those speakers, those contributors. Are any of those a good fit? Jot them down, right? Create a spreadsheet, keep track of who you think might be a good fit, and then start outreaching to them. Which then leads us on to step 3, which is to make sure that it's always a win-win-win situation. Now, if you follow the GIVE framework, you should already have that in place, but this is just another kind of checkpoint to go, okay, let me just make sure that this is actually going to be a win for me. Obviously, it should always start there, but a win for your audience and then a win for the collaborator. And again, it really just depends on the type of collaboration that you're participating in, or if you're hosting, it obviously needs to be very, very clear what the win is going to be for them. If you can't articulate that, it's going to be really difficult to actually collaborate. So you just want to think through what that is going to look like. And then really paint the picture. What is it that you're asking them to do, particularly if you're hosting a collaboration? But if you're participating in one, I always want you to think about your audience first, right? We already know that if you're considering a collaboration, it's a win, right? You've already made that decision. But I really want you to step into your audience's shoes and ask yourself the question, is this actually going to be a win for them? As in, if I'm participating in this collaboration, I'm going to be promoting other people's stuff, right, to my audience. Are they high quality? Are they actually going to be a good fit for my audience? Or is it just going to overwhelm them? Now, here's the thing, you obviously can't control whether people are overwhelmed or not. That is definitely not on your shoulders, but you just want to make sure that whatever you're bringing to your audience is aligned, right? It's not out of left field, it's not some random thing. And it's just thinking through that from a win-win-win perspective. As long as you've always ticked that box, then you're good to go. Now, I want to talk you through a couple of bonus steps that I think will just round this complete plan off. So let's talk about step 4. So now that you've basically determined that this is a good fit for everything, you're good to go, now you want to sit down and map out a timeline. So this is really important for you if you are planning to participate in multiple collaborations. So I made this decision at the beginning of 2025 that the entire year I was going to dedicate to collaborations in terms of it being my number one list building strategy. Now, I've been using collaborations in my business since 2016, so this is not new, but I was a little more conservative, let's put it that way, with using them. So I would typically only ever participate in a collaboration maybe once a quarter. Now, I participate in 1 to 2 collaborations a week, right? That's what that looks like. So you have to be a little bit strategic about what that looks like. And that means that you need to be able to balance all the things. Now, I want to quickly show you how I manage all of the pieces that go into this. And this, you can literally take a screenshot of this spreadsheet. But I just want to show you what it actually looks like when you start managing all the things and keeping track of what it is that you're actually doing. It will make your life so much easier. So this is my tracking spreadsheet, and this is how I keep track of all the things when it comes to participating in collaborations. Now, I have hidden a couple of columns because it's got sensitive information that I don't want to share, but basically the hidden columns include the dates that these collaborations are taking place and all the links to the actual collaboration pages, my free gifts, all of those things. But for your own planning purposes, the things that you want to make sure are, what is the giveaway offer opt-in that you're giving away, right? What does that look like? And this becomes extremely important when you're participating in multiple collaborations so that you don't double up. Because here's the thing, if you are participating in a collaboration, 9 times out of 10, they will have a requirement that you can't include an offer that has already been shared in a bundle, summit, giveaway in the past 2 to 3 months. There are some instances where they say you can't include something that has been featured in an event in the last 6 months. So the only way that you can know that is if you're actually tracking it. So it's really important that you understand kind of what that looks like. So you can see here that I have got a lot of stuff happening, and this takes us through to all the way down to June. So this is how far down I've actually got things in place. And at the moment, these few are happening, and it is April 2025. So lots of stuff happening, but this is how you keep track and don't go crazy when mapping out your own collaboration plans. And then finally, step 5 is all about making sure that you're clear on what is going to happen once someone comes into your world, right? So we just looked at how you're mapping all the things out, but you also want to consider a couple of different things. So you remember in the GIVE framework, we talked about I, which is income potential. So you also want to think through, okay, so if I've got this thing that I'm giving away that is normally a paid offer, what is the next step from there? And you may choose to include some income amplifier opportunities immediately after someone joins your email list. In other words, a tripwire, an order bump, that type of thing. Or, which is my preference, you might choose to do something in your email funnels. And that's the way that I typically go. If someone is coming through a specific offer, then I know that they're going to be immediately added to my welcome sequence, and then there will be a delay, and then they'll be added to my ever selling email series. Now, there are 2 ever selling email series that I have in place. One that's specifically for people who more fall into the startup launching phase of their business, and then they will go into an ever selling email series that will always recommend the 1K lab membership to them. And then I have another group of people who are more in the growing scaling phase of their business who will go into my ever selling email series for my grow nurture sell collective hybrid coaching and membership. So those are the 2 kind of ways that people go. And basically what those look like is there is a cadence of promotion that will happen every few weeks that will invite them to join either of those programs, right? And then in between all of that, I also have another evergreen email series that is called the Friday Flashies, which goes out every single Friday, which is based on my individual offers and provides a 50% discount for 24 hours on that one offer. So that also goes out. So I have 3 kind of evergreen sales sequences that are just always working, and they follow my nurture and sell framework. So I'm always nurturing, but I'm also always selling. So when you're mapping this out for yourself, you just want to think through, what happens next? What is the customer journey? Where do I eventually want them to go? So if collaborations are one of your number 1 strategies for the rest of this year, then I invite you to check out the Collaborate and Convert training, where I walk through all the different components along with some of those ever selling email series that you can plug in after people come into your world. More details below about that. But the video that is coming up on your screen right now is going to help you solidify some of your email marketing components. So go ahead and check that out, and I will see you there.